In this video, we will discuss about disk scheduling methods. Before we move on to the scheduling methods, let us first discuss about the structure of the hard disk. A hard disk drive is a collection of circular disks called platters. So each one is a platter that looks like a CD. Each platter is coated with a magnetic material for recording data. So both sides of the platter are covered with some magnetic material. The surface of each platter is logically divided into concentric rings called tracks. So each platter is divided into circles called tracks. So this is a track. Each track is divided into sectors. So each track is again subdivided into sectors. So each one is a sector. A group of tracks that are positioned on top of each other form a cylinder. So this track is below this track. So this one is below this one, like that. The group of all these tracks form one particular cylinder. So there is a head connected to an arm for each surface, which handles all I/O operations. So each surface has a read-write head. So all the read-write heads are connected to a single arm so that they move simultaneously. A sector is the basic unit of data storage. For each I/O request, first head is selected. It is then moved over the destination track. The disk is then rotated to position the desired sector under the head, and finally the read-write operation is performed. So suppose this is a sector that we want to read. First, the head is moved to this desired track. After that, this is rotated so that this sector will come exactly below this read-write head. This is how I/O operation is performed. There are three components to the disk response time: seek time, rotational latency, and transfer rate. Seek time is the time required to move the disk arm to the desired track. So the time required for this arm to move over the particular track from which the data to be read is known as the seek time. Rotational latency is the time for the disk to rotate the desired sector to the disk head. So once the head is positioned over this particular track, this sector has to be brought under this head. The time required for this rotation is known as rotational latency. Transfer rate is how long the actual data read or write takes place. Bandwidth is the total number of bytes transferred divided by the total time between the first request for service and the completion of the last transfer. So that means the total number of bytes transferred divided by the time taken, time from the submission of the request to the completion of the last transfer is known as the bandwidth. In order to use the disk drive efficiently, the disk need to have a fast access time and large disk bandwidth. The access time and bandwidth can be improved by scheduling the servicing of disk I/O requests in good order. There are several algorithms to schedule the servicing of disk I/O request. Let us discuss them. So the main purpose of disk scheduling algorithm is to select a disk request from the queue of I/O requests and decide the schedule when this request will be processed. First come, first served algorithm is the simplest scheduling algorithm that services the request in the order in which they are received. To illustrate this, assume that we have a request queue 60, 156, 32, 183, 124, and 42. So these are the cylinder numbers. The request came in this order. Assume there are total 200 cylinders and the disk head starts at 100. So this is cylinder 100. The disk head is right now here. The first request is 60. So 60 will be serviced first. So from 100, the disk head moves to 60. So after 60, it is 156. From here, the head moves to 156. From 156, it goes to the next request, that is 32. From 32, it goes to the next request, that is 183. From 183, it goes to the next request, 124. And from 124, it goes to the next request, that is 42. So 42 is our last request. So now let us compute the total head movement. So total number of cylinders that it moved. So from 100, it moves to 60. So the number of cylinders moved from 100 to 60 is 100 minus 60 plus from 60 to it moved to 156. That means 156 minus 60. Then from 156, it moved to 32. So 156 minus 32. From 32, it moved to 183. So 183 minus 32. From 183, it moved to 124. So 183 minus 124. From 124, it moved to 32. So 124, it moved to 42. So it is 124 minus 42. So a total of 552 cylinders it moved. So the advantage of FCFS algorithm is that every request is serviced, hence there is no such starvation. Since no ordering of request takes place, then this algorithm may result in long swing of disk arm from one part of the disk to another, resulting in poor performance. For example, from 32, it moved to 183. In between, there is 124. Since 124 has arrived after 183, it moved without servicing this 124. So only after 183 is serviced, 124 gets serviced. So there is a long gap here. So this is a disadvantage of FCFS algorithm. The next one is shortest seek time first. The shortest seek time first services the request with minimum seek time from the current head position. That is, it services the request closest to the current position of the disk head. So we'll take the same example. So the disk head is currently here. So among this group of requests, 124 is the one that is closest to 100. So 124 will be serviced first. So from 100, it moves to 124. So now the next request that is closest to 124 is 156. So it moves to 156. And the next closest request to 156 is 183. Then it goes to 183. So now we check which request is close to 183. Among 60, 32 and 42, 60 is the one that is closest to 183. So 60 will be serviced. Next closest request is 42. So 42 will be serviced. And the next one that is closest to 42 is 32. So 32 will be serviced. This is how servicing happens. So now let us check the total head movement. Then first it moves from 100 to 124. So 124 minus 100. Then 124 to 156. Then 156 minus 124. 156 to 183. 183 minus 156. 183 to 60. 183 minus 60. Then 60 to 42. 60 minus 42. 42 to 32. 42 minus 32. We add up all the terms and we will get 234 cylinder movements. The total head movement is 234 cylinders. So here you can see that the number of head movement has been reduced in this case. So the shortest seek time first reduces the total seek time compared to FCFS. A problem with this algorithm is starvation, since a request for a remote part of the disk may never get serviced if request keeps on arriving continuously at close locations. For example, here 183. Suppose if several requests comes in between, so the 183 has to wait indefinitely to get serviced. So there is a possibility of a starvation in the case of shortest seek time first. The next one is the scan algorithm. So in the case of scan algorithm, the disk head moves back and forth between the innermost and the outermost track, servicing the request on its path. The disk arm moves towards one direction, servicing all the outstanding requests on the path until the arm reaches the last track in that direction. When it reaches the end, the direction is reversed and it scans in the opposite direction. So let us take the same example. So assume that our head is at position 100 and the head is moving towards 0. So now head is moving towards 0. From 100 to 0, it moves. In between, whatever requests are there, it will serviced. So at 60, there is a request. So 60 will be serviced. At 42, there is a request. 42 will be serviced. At 32, there is a request. 32 will be serviced. And it goes up to 0. Now from 0, it starts its journey towards 199. So in between whatever requests are there, it will process it. So now it moves, and when it reaches 124, there is a request, and then it moves forward. At 156, there is a request, and at 183, there is a request. So this is our last request. So this is how scan algorithm works. So now it moves towards 199, and when it reaches there, it starts its journey back towards 0, servicing all the requests on its path. Once it reaches 0, it again goes back to 199, then servicing all the requests on its path. This is how scan algorithm works. Now let us check the head movement here. So it starts 100 and moves towards 60. So 100 minus 60, from 60 to 42, 60 minus 42, from 42 to 32, 42 minus 32, from 30 to 0. Though there is no request, it reaches 0. So 32 minus 0. Only after it reaches 0, it moves towards the right. So now from 0 to it moves towards 124. So 124 minus 0, then 124 to 156. 156 minus 124, then 183. 183 minus 156 is equal to 283 cylinders. The total head movement in this case is 283 cylinders. So if if a new request arrives in front of the head, it will be serviced immediately. But if it is behind the head, then it will have to wait until the head reaches the end and comes back. Scan algorithm is also known as the elevator algorithm. This algorithm prevents starvation. This algorithm usually prevents starvation, but in worst case, it can still happen. If there are repeated requests for the current cylinder, the head would stay at that cylinder forever, starving for all other requests. One method to solve this problem is to service only the requests that present there before the head reaches the location. New requests get serviced on the next pass. So next one is the C-scan or circular scan. The C-scan algorithm is known as circular scan. This is similar to scan, except that the request gets serviced only when the disk head is moving in one direction. The head scans from the innermost cycle to the outermost cycle, outermost cylinder, satisfying the entire request. When the last cylinder is reached, the arm returns to the starting cylinder without satisfying any request and starts again. So here, our head is at position 100 and it is in its way towards 199. So from 100, when it reaches 124, there is a request. So it services the request 124. Then it moves towards this direction. When it reaches 156, there is a request. Then after servicing 156, again when it reaches 183, there is a request. So now it goes to the end of the cylinder. So 199 is the last cylinder. So once it reaches the end of the cylinder, it goes back to the beginning of the cylinder. That means it goes back to the 0th cylinder. So in its return journey, it won't services any of the request, any of the outstanding request. So this is the difference between the scan and C-scan. So now it starts its journey towards the outermost cylinder. So when it reaches 32, there is a request, so 32 will get serviced. So when it reaches 42, there is a service, so 42 gets serviced. And when it reaches 60, there is a request, so 60 also gets serviced. So now it continues its movement towards 199. So this is how C-scan algorithm works. Now let us check the total head movement. 100 to 124, 124 minus 100, 124 to 156, 156 minus 124, 156 to 183, 183 minus 156, 183 to 199, 199 minus 183. So now 199 to 0. So 199 minus 0, then 0 to 32, 32 minus 0, 32 to 42, 42 minus 32, 42 to 60, 60 minus 32. So the total of this is equal to 358. So the total head movement is 358 cylinders. Since C-scan treats cylinders as a circular list, it does not favor any spot on the disk. So the next algorithm is look. So like scan, so this algorithm is also like the scan algorithm, but it reverses the direction of the disk arm when there is no outstanding request beyond the current position. So we will take the same example. So it is at 100. So the disk arm is moving towards 0. So when it reaches 60, there is a request, so it services 60. Next it services 42, and next it services 32. So beyond this 32, there is no request. So there is no outstanding request between the cylinders 0 and 32. So it won't move further. It will reverses its direction and moves towards 199. It moves towards the outer cylinder. So now when it moves towards 124, there is a request. So next, the request is at 156. Next request is at 183. So beyond 183, there is no outstanding request. So the head reverses its direction after servicing 183. So this is the look algorithm. So it is a variation of the scan algorithm. So let us compute the total. Hence the total head movement is 219 cylinders. Next one is C-look. C-look is a circular variant of look which reverses the direction when it hits the last request in that direction. So let us take the same example. So from 100, the head is moving towards 199. So when it reaches 124, it services 124. When it reaches 156, it is a request. So services that request and then moves to 183. So it services that 183. So beyond 183, there is no outstanding request. So the head reverses its direction. But in the reverse direction, it won't execute any, it won't service any of the request. So once it reaches 32, there is a request. But beyond this one, there is no outstanding request. So 32 gets serviced and then the head reverses its direction. So now it moves to 42. 42 gets serviced and then it services 60. So this is how CLOOK algorithm works. So now let us check the total head movement. So 100 to 124, 124 minus 100, 124 to 156, 156 minus 124, 156 to 183, 183 minus 156, then 183 to 32, 183 minus 32, 32 to 42, 42 minus 32, 42 to 60, 60 minus 42. So when we add up, we'll get 262 cylinders. That is the total head movement in this case. So next one is the priority scheduling algorithm. Here, the algorithm services the request in the order of the priority. So higher priority request will be serviced first, then the lower priority request. Next one is the n-step scan algorithm. So here the request queue is divided into subqueues with each subqueue having a maximum length of n. Each subqueue has a length of n. Subqueues are processed in first come, first served order. So that means the first queue will be processed first, then the second queue, like that. So within a subqueue, the requests are processed using the scan algorithm. So within the subqueue, the request, the queue is selected in the first come, first served order, and the requests in the queue are processed using the scan algorithm. While a subqueue is being serviced, incoming requests are placed in the next non-filled subqueue. This algorithm eliminates any possibility of starvation. So next one is the F-scan. Like n-step scan, so this algorithm is also like n-step scan, but here there are only two subqueues, each of unlimited length. So here we are not limiting the length. While the request is in one subqueue are serviced, new requests are placed in the other subqueue. So this is how F-scan algorithm works. So these are the disk scheduling algorithms.